Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm super excited to help you guys. My name is Angel, and you may have seen my bio a little bit. I am a Pure Romance Senior Director and Board of Directors member. Started it 5 years ago, and I absolutely love it. It has completely changed my life. Like, I went from a house that was falling down, and we didn't have guests over because we were so embarrassed about what our house looked like and we lived in that house for 18 years with our kids. And I always wanted to be the mom who the kids came over to hang out at our house. So I was always stressful and depressing to be in that house, in that situation. So now 5 years later, we have the house that anybody can come over, and they do a lot. All the time. We had Thanksgiving here, and we had 47 people here downstairs, and there was plenty of room. So I wanted to share with you guys a little bit today about sponsoring. I'm a huge advocate for sponsoring because that's where the money is. That's where you're going to grow your income, and you're going to take your stress out of business. So doing parties is awesome. I love doing parties. I love helping women. It's a blast. But doing parties can also be stressful, and you guys might feel that. Like if you have a party canceled and you're like, oh my God, like there goes my car payment, or I really needed that money today to be able to feed my family, and now crap, what am I going to do? I don't like that stress. I don't like the stress of wondering if I'm going to be able to pay my bills, whether or not my parties hold. I do this full time. This is the only thing that I do, and it's the only way I make money. And I have a lot of bills that are dependent upon my business. I have a car payment that's like $420. I have a house rent. We moved to rent on purpose because they fix things. That's $16.50 a month. So and then there's, other bills too. So I have to make minimum $2,600 a month with my business. And if I'm just depending on my parties to do that, then it gets very, very stressful. So building a team makes it not so stressful. In fact, I looked at my bonus today on my online website, or the COO, and my bonus today on the 11th is already $700. Already I've covered everything but rent with my bonus check, and it's only the 11th. That takes the stress out of your business. That's why you focus so much on sponsoring, because you want to get it where party money is fun money, party money is the extra, and you can pay all of your bills with just your bonus check. So I have a girl on my team, and her name is Vicky, and she is now an advanced consultant. She's one away from being a director. She started the year out with one working consultant underneath her. Her January bonus check was $6. And her bonus check last month, because she has signed 8 and activated 8 people, last month was $621. 1 month. 1 month of busting your ass and sponsoring can change your business, can change your life. Like, seriously, $600 bonus check. She looked at her bonus check this morning. We were talking. It's already 100 and something, and it's only the 11th. So growing your team is crucial. So I say all this because I want you to get excited about growing your team. I want you to believe in what it can do for you, and then I want you to believe in what it can do for them. Because when you believe that this business can change your life, and this business can change other people's lives, is when you get excited about it, and they feel your excitement, and they believe what you have to offer. So when you're sharing the business story, you, of course, you probably heard before that you need to have an I story. In your I story, I always recommend with my girls that you share your I story, why you started the business, even with my new girls. Like, you still share why you started the business. Like this one girl joined the team, and she doesn't feel like she has an iStory, but she does, because she started it because she has 2 little babies. She has a 6-month-old at home, and she drives an hour to work every day, and she is missing her baby's life. She has not been there for anything except to put the kid to bed at night, and that's 6 months gone by. That's her iStory. She's doing this because she wants to be a part of this baby's life, and she hates missing all of it. That is an amazing iStory right there. She hasn't changed her life, but she sees the possibility. Then you throw in, when you're telling your iStory, you throw in the success of someone else. Like, oh my gosh, like my sponsor did blah, 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 blah. You find somebody else's success story and you share it. 82% of women who make over $100,000 a year work in direct sales. So why not do it with the fun one? That's what I always say when I talk about it at my parties. So 82% of women who make over $100,000 in retail sales, you are in business. You can be one of those people, and they can be one of those people, and you've got to believe it for them. It is true. You guys know, you've seen it. Dana Barish got $100,000 in 1 month. The possibilities are endless for what you can do with your business, and it's endless for what your people can do with it. So really, really, really believe it. Really believe it. If you don't believe it, look at the numbers from the board of directors and their bonus checks. I'm sure Lacey has shared it with you. She has it. She can share it with you. A lot of ladies have posted how much money they're making. The possibilities are there. Fall in love with the possibilities. Make it your goal to hit one of those possibilities. So that's the basis of great sponsoring. The basis of great sponsoring is what you believe here and what you get excited about, because that's what they want. They want someone who believes that they can do it enough that you can believe in it for them. Okay? So what do I do for sponsoring? So you guys probably have heard, if you haven't, there's a group called the Money Train Group that Leanne Rhodes started. And so what the Money Train Group is, it's a Facebook group where you put everyone who is ever interested in the business, from an interest of 3 out of 10 and up. Everybody goes in that group. Some people will ask if they can put them in there. To me, if they put a 5 or more that they're interested in the business, I just automatically put them in there. It's the only group where I automatically put people without them asking me, just because that's the most important thing I do. So is sponsoring. So I put them in there. I let them know, hey, I added you to this group, and I'm super excited to have you in this group. It's just a place where I share success stories, and I am always sharing sale prices. So I would love for you to stay in it. If it's not for you, feel free to remove yourself at any time. So that's the message I can send out to them whenever I add them into the group, so they know that they're not obligated and I am thinking of them, and hey, getting it in their mindset of why I put it in there. So I put these people in this group, and then for posting in that group, 3 days a week, I post in that group a success story of another consultant, and I get those from Chris. You know that video Chris always shares on his page, Chris Ciccinelli, our CEO. He always shares a video every week of success stories from consultants, and they take it from Facebook. So I go into that video and I screen capture a consultant, and then I'll take that screen capture, I will put it in that group, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, this girl just who's gonna do this today? So I will do that 3 days a week, and I schedule these posts out, so it makes it very, very easy. That group, we work on it. My assistant over here, you can't see her. Anyways, my assistant over there, she's doing that right now. Post in that group for me 3 days a week. It's scheduled post, so I don't have to think about it. Then 1 day a week, I post the kit prices. I'm a little blurry. Why am I blurry? Sorry, I get distracted easy. Very easy. And we're on spring break here, so it's even harder. My kids are here. I have 8 kids. For those of you who don't know, I have 8 kids. 5 of them live at home. 3 are gone. Okay, so in that group, 3 days a week, you post success stories. 1 day a week, you're posting the kit prices. And thank you. 1 day a week, you post the kit prices so that they know what's going on that week. If there's a sale that comes up, then I will pop in again and be like, oh my God, like you need to get the sale price. Then you also post every time someone joins. If you have a lot of people joining, like I do, then you just post them joining. But ladies, you can also post when someone else on your team joins, as if they're joining on your team, if that makes sense. So like Lacey signed someone, you didn't sign anyone, you haven't signed anyone this year, but Lacey signed someone, you go, oh my gosh, so-and-so just became a money maker. She just joined the business. Whoop, whoop. We're so excited for her. She's leaving this group and she's joining the money making group. Stuff like that. I post that every single time someone joins my team. And for me, I just do it when I sponsor them because I'm sponsoring enough that people, that they are seeing people join. But people want to be a part of something. So if other people are joining, then they're like, oh, maybe I should. Like all these other people are doing it. I should do it too. So I always do that whenever someone joins in the group. Then the other days of the week. So that's 4 days, and we have 3 days left. 1 day I will post something funny in the group, and 1 day I will post something about my team, something my team has done, because I want them to see that they're joining a great team. I want them to see that they're going to be part of something bigger than just me. So that may be like if we have a team meeting, I'll post a picture of the team meeting. It may be something from conference. It may be the success story of another team member, something like that. So just so that they know that they're part of the team. So that is it. I have scheduled posts to make it really easy. I don't call mine the Money Train group because I did that for a while and it really was stagnant for me. It just really wasn't mine. And this is something important to know. You got to make it yours. When it was the Money Train group, it was Leanne Rhodes' group, and it wasn't exciting to me, and I wasn't working it. When I turned it into the Future Money Makers with Pure Romance, all of a sudden, it was exciting to me. It was me. It was what I believed in. It's what I thought about. And so make the group yours. If the name Money Train Group doesn't inspire you, then make it something else. Mine is the Future Money Makers, Pure Romance Future Money Makers. Make it something that inspires you to really be excited about working in that group. And then just set down a day every week to make your postings. I love that Facebook lets you schedule because it makes it a lot easier. So there's that group, and that's where I get a lot of my people interested in talking and learning and get them joining. So that's one way I sponsor. Then I sponsor app parties. I've done a couple app parties this year just because that new kit is amazing, but more because it's just the pricing is good. Honestly, that's the only way I get them to sponsor at parties. Usually I get them after the parties is when I usually get them. I don't usually sponsor people directly at the party. But I'm going to share with you 2 sponsoring games. So I have 2 sponsoring games that have worked really well for me over the years. The first one is the one that I used to do, and then I'm going to show you the one that I do now. So the first one is the Ask Me About My Job game with the raffle tickets. I'm going to give you guys a ticket for every question you ask about my business. You can ask anything you want. And then at the end of it, I'm going to ask you guys some questions. And then we're going to draw for a prize. So you can ask anything you want. From how much money do I make? How far do I travel? What does my pastor think about what I do? So when I do this game, I always throw out 3 questions I want them to answer. And so, or want them to ask. And so the biggest one on that one is that, I put out there, what does my pastor think about what I do? I love throwing that question out there because a lot of times I will get people who will be very conservative, thinking that they can't do this. And I started from a very conservative place. I've never been to a party. I'm married 26 years. I married my first kiss, my husband. I'm pretty much his first everything too. So a very conservative life and a very conservative background. And so I want people to understand that you don't have to be crazy wild to be successful at this. So that's why I put that question in there. So you can cater your, think about your questions. Think about what you're going to say, the 3 that you're going to throw out there for them. Make sure that you're very strategic in what you say so that you're getting different people interested for different reasons. And you're also calling out a question that might not be asked if you didn't throw that out there. So then, after they ask their questions, I give them a ticket, and I don't ever limit it. I'm never worried about time myself. My parties are 3.5 hours long usually if they're good parties. If they're quiet, low groups, then they're about 2 hours, but usually about 3.5 with good groups. So it's obviously time is not my focus. Maybe it should be, but it does okay for me, so I stick with it. It's not broke. So, I forgot what I was saying. Questions. Oh, okay. So I let them go on forever with questions. So, when they're done asking their questions, then and someone who asks a lot of questions is usually a red flag that they're really interested in the business or they're really interested in a free product. It's one or the other. So then, when they're done, I ask them 5 questions. My 5 questions are: number 1, how old are you? And I say, in all fairness, I'm 45 years old. Number 2, nominate the person in the room most likely to succeed at doing what I do. You can nominate yourself. So they get a ticket if they're nominated. They get 2 tickets if they get the most nominations, and they get 2 tickets if they nominate themselves on that one. So nominate the person most likely to succeed at doing what I do. Number 3, dream with me for a second. If you became a pure romance consultant and you did 1 party a week and you did the national company average, you would make $800 a month. What would you do with your $800? Don't focus on the math of that one. The $800 doesn't matter. It's not a specific like, oh my gosh, is that right? Let me do the math. It's just throwing it out there to get them to think. The math of it really doesn't matter. It just depends on level and all that stuff. But $200 a party is pretty good, pretty safe for a national company average. Number 4, yes, no, or maybe. You would like more information about doing what I do. Number 4. Yes, no, or maybe. And number 5, how many women out of 10 require clitoral stimulation? So this is something I teach during my parties always. I always teach. It's 87%, 82%, depending on which statistic you look at. So I just say, I round it up, 9 out of 10 women require clitoral stimulation to have their orgasm. 9 out of 10 women cannot have an orgasm during intercourse. This is something that is crucial for women to hear, because women need to know that they are normal and that they are okay, and there's nothing wrong with them and their partner. There is nothing wrong with their partner. They're doing it right. Well, I mean, they're not doing it right, obviously, because they're not doing the clitoral stimulation, but they're not abnormal. A lot of women feel so self-conscious, and their partners feel so self-conscious because they cannot get to orgasm during intercourse. They think something's wrong with them. So they're either 1, they just feel like crap, or 2, they're faking it. And you should never fake it, because your partner needs to know what you're doing and whether or not you're successful at it. So anyways, it's something I teach on my partners. Big thing for me. So that way at the end of the party, then they answer that. If they answer that question correctly, they get a ticket. So then the saving grace of this, and for me, is crucial in everything you do at every party. You always need to get that yes, no, or maybe on the back of the card. I don't know about you, but there are days when I don't ask people in the ordering room if they want to be a consultant. I know, right? Can you believe I just said that? Like, that happens occasionally. I am such a screw up. But we all are, right? There's always days where we forget to do it. Or someone comes in the ordering room and you become intimidated by that person and you don't ask them. It happens. It happens to all of us all the time. So that card is my saving grace. That is my, this is my, let's see. Here we go. This right here, I have it right here on this card. I know this lady is a maybe. If I screw up in the ordering room, I have a connection card that tells me, oh my gosh, I need to go back and talk to this woman. I did not talk to her at a party. Now I know she's a maybe. She goes into my future money group, and I know I need to send her something. I need to send her a message or a text being, hey girl, what does this maybe mean? So it is my saving grace. It's what keeps me knowing if they were interested in the business or not, because nothing sucks more than someone who goes and signs under somebody else that did a party with you. That bites, and it happens. It so happens, and it's the worst. You're like, I did the great party. I'm the reason why you wanted to be a consultant, and yet you went and joined under someone else, or you just went to the corporate website and joined. Like, so freaking rude. Don't do that. That's so rude. But it happens because we didn't do our job. We didn't finish it. You have to complete the entire process. You get them excited. You let them see the dream. But if you don't sign them, you lose them and they're gone and you're shit out of luck. So that's the first game that I played. That's the game that I played for years and has worked really well for me. I love that game. So then the second game that I just started doing, and I love even more, is really working good for me this year. And it requires you to get some kind of cute little box. So for me, I have this little... I got these at Hobby Lobby, Valentine's Day on clearance. You can get any kind of cute box, and inside there's a product. So, I don't even know what's in this one. Oh, it's a Kiss. Okay, so I have Kiss Flirt in here. You can have anything. I have a lot of whipped peaches and cream. I think it's really gross. Anyways, sorry. I should never think any of our products are gross, but it's true. So I have a lot of whipped peaches and cream, so a lot of these have this in it. I have, I take about 4 or 5 of these to a party with me, and I have them in there. And so this is my heart box. So here's the way this game goes. I'm going to, whoop, sorry, you fell. I'm sorry. All right, let's see if we can set you up. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to borrow my assistant for this one. She has no idea this is happening. So hold on. Abby, come over here. Okay, so we're at a party, right? And I'm blurry again. Oh, well. So we're at this party, and I have just finished my entire demo. And I've already done the entire demo, all the games and everything. It's at the end of the party. So I will pick someone in the room who I'm either interested in having on my team because they look really awesome, or I think they are interested in being on my team. You know, they've said something during the party that it's just kind of like a red flag, like, you know, like they need money, or they know all about the products and they would be amazing at this. And during the party, when they do stuff like that, you're like, girl, we need to talk later because you would rock at this. So I pull this person up, right? Okay. So this right here is my heart box. It's cute, right? Isn't that cute? It's so cute. I love my heart box. Okay, here you go. Can you hold that for me for a second? Awesome. Okay. So this box right here, don't look at the price tag on the back. I do say that at parties too. This box right here is $220. Will you give me $220 for this hot box right now? No. You gotta be louder, they can't hear you. She said no. She said no. She's my quiet. She's my daughter. It's my college daughter and my assistant. But she requires me to pay her. Isn't that a jip? Like, right? Like, I pay for everything and she still wants me to pay her? Anyways, we're going on. Okay, so she said no. She doesn't want the hard box for $220. Okay, so, like, shake the box for me. Awesome. Inside that box is a little Pure Romance product. It's just a little something, but it's a Pure Romance product. So will you buy the box for me now for $220? No? Okay. So what if I told you that this box also comes with this box? Now, if you don't have this box, you can show a picture or you can just tell about the products. Like this box also comes with $391 worth of Pure Romance products. So I have the box, so I will open the kit up. I will show them the $391 worth of products they're going to get. So if I didn't have the kit, I would print out a picture of the kit and I would show it to them, a full size on a clipboard, show them the full kit. See this, you're gonna get all of this, $391 worth of products, and this heart box right here with what's inside it. Little more interested, maybe? Maybe, okay, little more interested. What if I told you that with this box, with a little bit of time, this box could be a new car for you. This box could be a new house for you. This box could be all of your debts paid off. No more debts, no more collectors. What if I told you that this box could be a trip to Paris for you? How does the box look now for $220? It's a pretty good deal, right? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so what is, and let me tell you that that new car, that new house, that trip to Paris, that's what that box has been for me and my life. So what is something that you have always wanted to do, but you can't afford to do?
Go to Paris.
Go to Paris. This box can be a trip to Paris for you. You could do that in a year or two. Easy. So now how does this box look for $220? Okay. Thank you very much, Abby. If you have a seat, and I have her keep the box. You keep that box for me. Hold on to that. Don't open it. But we're going to talk about that box again in a little bit. So everybody, thank you. Thank her for a good job, right, for coming up here. Okay, now, ladies, I want you to pull out that connection card. That connection card. You're going to pull that out for me. On the back of that connection card, I want you all to write down something that you would like to do, but you can't afford to do it. So they do. They write down something on the back of it. Sorry, phone thing. Now, on the back of this, I want you to write down something you always want to do, but you can't afford to do it. Then I want you to write underneath that, yes, no, or maybe. You can write it anywhere on this card. I don't usually read the stuff on the back of the card, so just write it anywhere on there. Write the word yes, no, or maybe, and then circle it that you want that box in your life. And let me tell you, that heart box, for everyone who becomes a consultant or gets the box, tonight at the party, you get to keep the heart box too and what's inside it. That's my sponsoring game right now. You are posting this on your customer team page. Posting what? Okay, I don't understand your question, Lindsay, so maybe rewrite it and I will happy to answer it. So that's the game that I'm playing at my parties right now. And so the reason I came up with this game because I wanted to stop ladies from looking at sticker price. Because whenever you talk about becoming a consultant, a lot of times they're overwhelmed by the price of the kit. So when I do that game, it takes away the sticker shock and it actually makes it look like such a value. And also it touches their heart. I had one lady join my team. I brought her up there and she has 9 grandkids and she can't afford to do really hardly anything for her grandkids. So this box for her meant that she was going to be able to spoil her grandkids. In fact, there is a lady in the business who just took her team to, or not her team, her kids to Disney World for the first time after 6 months in business. She paid for a trip to Disney World. And I was like, how would you like to take those grandkids to Disney World? And she was like, oh my gosh, like, and then she signed up that night, that day at the party. In fact, I signed up 2 ladies at that party. So that is my heart box game. And you can make it any box, obviously. But that is the game that is really working really well for me, and I love it. Another thing, when they come into the ordering room and they have that piece of paper, And it has a yes, no, or maybe. That's a yes right there. So you take this card whenever they come in the ordering room and you flip it over. I was just wondering where you posted you signed up with Pure Romance. Oh, they would just post that on their wall, right? I posted in that group that I make. But okay, so I got go back here. Okay, so when they come into the ordering room, you now know whether or not they're interested. You don't even have to ask them. There's no awkward question or not. You flip it over. To me, if they say no after all of that, then I don't waste my time with them that much. If they say, you can throw the question out there, and I do that occasionally. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? But if they say yes or maybe, that means that person is another person for your team, and you just got to figure out how to work it to get them in. That is your job. Now, they've put it in your corner to find out how to get them in. So this is your challenge. If they say maybe, I always take the card and I go, you put maybe on this card right here. What does that maybe mean for you? And then you listen. And listening is your key, because that maybe may mean they don't have the money to do it tonight, but they will have it next Friday whenever they get their paycheck, or they can't afford to do it, but they really want to do it. So you've got to help them figure out a way to do it. For that could be payments to you. I have some ladies who will do payments. And you know what's funny is I had one lady ask me about doing payments, and then magically the next day she had all the money. So, you know, it's the whole tire scenario of, if your tire was flat, would you find a way to fix it? Of course you would. You would find the money. Find the money. Because the money is going to multiply. You're not just throwing money out there, it's going to multiply. So so if you kind of say that, you can even say that to them, like, hey girl, like, if you had a flat tire today, would you be able to find the money for it? Of course you would. So let's get you a kit, and let's do your flat tire money, and then we will work really hard to make sure you get all of that money back and more in the next 2 weeks. So whenever you talk to people about, and if they say yes, then they're like, okay, you put a yes on here, let's do this. Are we signing you up tonight and getting you that heart box? And then if they say no, but then, okay, when are we doing it? Let's put a date on here. I put a date on all of my stuff. So I have, it's kind of messy, but here, let me flip you around. Up here on my board, that is my leads. See, there's consultant leads there. There's consultant leads there. Those are ones that are actively working this year. So every time someone says that they're in the business and they're actively working, I will go up there and I will write their name on it. If they give me a date, I put a date on that board, and I have to do it right in front of me at my desk or I will forget about it. So putting a name and a date up there is really important. So if I put a date on the back of their connection card of when they want to join, then I move it up to there. And that way I don't forget about them, because I will forget. If I don't have it in front of me, I will totally forget. I'm horrible at that. So I have a wall of sticky notes in front of my desk. If somebody does an outside order, God help me if I don't put it on a sticky note up here, because it's not on a connection card. It's not sorted into my thing. So I have to have things where I can see them. I'm a paper kind of girl. So I things in a computer just disappear to me. I never even go look at them. So I have to have it so I can see it. So, so keeping them up there on an active sheet lets me know who are the people who have talked to me this year in the past 2 or 3 months about being a consultant. That means those people are more interested, and so those are the hot leads. You have cold leads. Those are the people who they go into that group and you really don't talk to them that much. You just post in that group. You can occasionally tag them in something or send them a private message, be like, hey girl, just checking in. I saw that you did this on Facebook. Sending them a few messages like that helps keep them in your news feed, but they're really kind of cold because they've been sitting in that group for 2 years and they're still not doing anything. But these are the ladies that this year have said something, and so they're the ones you needed to keep on top of. Building a relationship with people really helps a lot, and getting them signed. One of the leaders on my team, I went walking with her twice, and then I got her to sign. When you are new and you don't have that many consultant leads, that's a huge luxury you have, in that you can create these relationships with these people who are interested in the business. So you're going to find out about them. You're going to talk to them. You're going to message them. How's their baby? How's their husband? Oh my gosh, I saw you just did that or that. Getting those relationships makes them love you, makes them want to work with you, and makes them see, it gives you a chance. Like if you're going for a walk with someone, of course you're going to talk about the business and what happened at a party last time and how much fun it was and stuff like that. So building a relationship is really awesome, and it's how I always recommend when you're new in the business you start, because those people will love you if you do that. It's harder to do when you have, 300 or 400 in your group, and then you've kind of got to work your way around it. So the way I work it is I just really relationship these people up here. The people that are in front of me are the ones who are going to get the more relationship kind of stuff. They're going to get the Facebook messages and the posting on their wall and stuff to keep them excited and thinking about me, so I don't fall out of their point of view. One thing that's really, be pushy. Ask them when they're getting their tax return. I know it sounds crazy and rude and pushy, but the worst they can say is no. And no's okay. No's okay. If they say no, then that's great. They're saving you time, because then I don't bother them anymore. Then I'm not wasting my time with them anymore. So getting that no is just fine. But ask them when their tax return is due. Ask them when they're planning on joining. Put a date to it. So that way you know when to contact them. Because how many of you got a tax return and spent it 5 days before you got it? And you knew where every single penny of that tax return was going. Of course you did. We all do, especially if you're not wealthy. You know where every penny of it is, and you probably have 5 more pennies of it that you could spend if you had more. So that's why you got to keep on top of them, because that tax return is spent the day they get it. And it's true for, like, I got a bonus check on Friday for $4,000, and I now have maybe, that was embarrassing. That's why I took a drink. I probably have about $100 left of that $4,000. That's because I threw it all into bills and everything. But the money's spent. Like, there's not like plethora of wealth going around me quite yet. I'm working on that. I'm working on changing that. But I make, when my bonus check comes, I pay every single bill I have. And plus I registered for all those world conferences and national trainings and stuff to take care of it. But anyways, that all being said, when people get money, they know where it's going, and it's gone quickly. So that's why it's crucial that you put dates to them. And always when you're talking about people, always ask when they're signing, when they're going to do it. It's the same kind of philosophy when you're talking to people about hosting a party. You don't ask them if they're going to. You ask them when. Right? Girl, when are we going to change your life? Girl, when are we going to get this kit ordered so you can start being a money maker? Girl, I'm so excited for you to change your life and not ever have to do that again. When they post something about money on their Facebook wall, let's set a plan. When can you do this? Another thing that's really great to do, and the last thing that we're going to talk about, because I know I'm talking for a long time, the last thing that we're going to talk about is doing coffee appointments with people. So if someone is interested in the business and they're not signing up that night at the party, ask them if they'll do a coffee appointment with you to talk about it more. Usually, if they come for coffee, you can get them to sign. Usually they will sign. It may not be that day at coffee, but usually they will. Because if they're taking the time out of their schedule to actually show up to meet with you, then that means they're very, very interested. That means that they are a yes. Don't incentivize them. Don't give them a free product for meeting you with coffee, because that just means they're coming for the product and you don't know for sure they're serious. So if they will meet you for coffee, when you meet them for coffee, I do have a system set up in what I say to them at the coffee appointment. So I always bring with me, and I give to the ladies a sponsoring packet. Abby, can you grab me one of those folders with the for the sponsoring? It's going to be in one of the back of my bags. You know, the ones that you made up? Okay. She's going to grab that for me. So I have a folder that I bring with me. I do have this folder at parties, and I will give it to some of the ladies. I don't give it out like a whole bunch. Maybe I should, but and for those of you, I don't think I even said at the beginning of this call, I have signed 23 or 24. Mickey, 24 people since the Founders Day sale. I signed 4 last week, and I have activated 18 since the Founders Day sale. I have 6 ladies sitting waiting to activate. So, so those are my numbers, by the way. So I give them this folder. I take this folder with me. In it, I have a picture of the kits, so they see that. They see the full price of them. In them, I still have these left. So I still stick these in them. These were from corporate. I don't know that you can get these anymore, but I bought a crap ton of them. So I was like, where do I put these things? They're just little brochures about the business. I actually like them. I wish that they would keep them. I put the compensation plan in there, and this one is double-sided. So it takes 2 pieces of paper, but it has all the information, including the fast track. You can get this in the COO if you search compensation plan. If you search compensation plan, you can find that. I take that way it makes it easy for me to explain how they make money. And then I have one of these. Okay, so PCR, PRCEF. I have to say it before I can do the stupid number letters. Okay, so I take that with me to the meeting. And so when you sit down to meet with someone with coffee, don't talk about yourself. I know it's hard. I love to talk about myself, but it's really hard. But I restrain when they come up. I say, you know, oh my gosh, thank you for meeting with me. So talk to me. Tell me why you are interested in a Pure Romance business. What does this mean to you? Let them talk about themselves. Awesome. Well, after they tell you like what they say, okay, then you say, awesome. That's awesome. I love that. That was so great. So let me ask you this. How much money do you need to make when you're starting? Then you get that number, and I take that number and I divide that into parties, and I let them know how many parties they would need to do to hit that number, and does that sound doable for them? So sometimes you will have ladies walk in there and they will say, oh, I want to make $1,000 a month. That would be good to start. And I always say to start that, because occasionally I've had someone come in there and say, I want to make $5,000 a month. And I'm like, oh my God, girl, so do I. At the time, I didn't make $5,000 a month. I was like, I've been doing it for 2 years. I want to make $5,000 a month. No, which that's not to say that you can't. If you build a team, you can. That's why we're doing this call. But so you want to be real with them though. So if they say something like 5,000, then say, great, 5,000 is awesome. You're going to want to add people to your team as quickly as possible to get to that number. Let's look at how many parties a month can you do, and then let's put a number to that of how much you can make to begin with. So if they say $1,000 a month, then I usually say that's 1, maybe 2 parties a week. If they say $2,000 a month, that's 2 parties a week to be safe. If they are, 2, maybe 3. If they say they want to make $2,500, then let's do 3 parties a week. How does 3 parties a week look to you? Can you do that? Does that fit your schedule? So you want to be realistic and throw some numbers at them and let them know that it is totally doable. So then after that, after they've talked about themselves, they've talked about the money that they need to make, and then is when you come up with your story. And that's when you say, okay, so this is why I started Pure Romance, and this is what it has done for me, and this is how much money I have made, and how much I make at parties, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, then you go, okay, so let's talk about getting you started. So we have a application right here. I just need to fill this out. So here's a pen. Go ahead and fill this out for me, and then let's talk about when we can get you going. So I give them the application. I don't ask them if they're ready to join. I just give it to them and say, okay, let's fill this out, and then we'll talk about when. So that means I've got all their information already. And if they put a credit card on there, like you just signed someone if they put a credit card on there, honestly, because that means that they are totally serious. But get a date, and write a date. I will, if I have it where they're signing this, but they can't do it today, then I'll put a date right here and when they want me to run it. Not 100% of those applications go through, but 90% of them do. And it's worth 90% of my time to add people to my team. So that's how you do your coffee appointments. All right. So does anybody have any questions about sponsoring or about anything else that was brought up here? If you do, go ahead and post them in the comments and I will address them as quickly as I can. So make sure you put your questions down there. And while you do that, I have to fill time. I love filling time. For those of you, you need to sponsor. You really do. You need to grow your team. You're going to make more money. There's just so much more money that comes in sponsoring. Not only do you make money off of them, you make 6% off of them. I have a girl on my team that she started making out doing $1,000 parties. She had friends with a lot of money. So she started making doing parties and made $1,000 a party. So I made $60 a night whenever she went out. And one night I had a bad party and she went out and worked and I made $60 off of her and I made more money off of her working that night than I did at my party. I don't always have bad parties, but occasionally we all have bad parties. But anyways, I thought that was hysterical. And you'll also increase your commission rates. I make 50% commissions. 50% commissions is awesome. Like, it is such a luxury. If someone comes into the room, like I had a lady come in this weekend and she was going to order lots of mild stuff, but she wanted the main attraction, but she didn't want to spend the $189. So with the 50% commission rate, I'm able to say, how about I give you 20% off of that? Because I really want you to get that. I really want you to be happy when you go home. So yeah, she took me up on 20% off. She saved like $30. I still made money off of it. I still made 30% commissions off $189. So it gives you freedom in your business to be able to do more stuff like that with people. Whereas when you're at 30% commissions, it's a lot harder to give someone discounts. If you give someone a 10% discount and when you're only making 30%, that's like a third of what you make and it's painful. So, all right. I'm not seeing any questions, ladies. So thank you so much for being on the call. I hope that this helps you. I hope you enjoy the games. I hope it helps you rock your parties and that you grow your teams. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.